Welcome to Rambling of a Madman. This episode is going to be another part that I would be talking to myself. Again, it comes with the job title. If you are a madman who is rambling, you have to talk to yourself. It is 31st of August 2020. I have released around 14 episodes of my podcast. Well, there's no reaction at all. Not much views. Not much as in there's no views at all. And it's okay, I think, because at least recording these things, thinking about these issues, gives a relief from the madness of the world. And what you can expect than this result if you don't have the quality, the quantity, or the skills to handle a podcast. Nevertheless, I am continuing to ramble on, and when talking to myself, I just think of different topics and think how this topic is going to change the society or how this topic is impacting the society. Though the ramble won't go for at least an half an hour, so we will cram couple of topics into this and make it episode. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about recently is due to the pandemic situation, most of the institutions that are responsible for education are moving their courses, the ways of studying online. This got me thinking that will this be the new norm even after this pandemic situation goes away and when it becomes normal, when normal life resumes? At this point, we don't know when, but hopefully, there should be a day, or at least after a year, that this day comes. So basically, when that day arrives, will these institutions that are responsible for educating the society, will they keep these online courses? Because it it seems it use less resources. The element of classroom is totally gone. This is a kind of a strange because when I was growing up, this situation was not there at all. Online learning was not an option. Even if there was online learning, which was rare, the reputation for online learning, the nobody took that seriously. Exams should be attended, classes must be attended, but this is giving new options, new ways of thinking how education should be carried out. It is easier, it is relaxed. The amount of students should not be restricted to a small number. That means, can more people access higher education easily? And will that make the education fees go down? Will the quality remain when teaching online? And what about the practical points? Will universities become physically smaller just to carry out practical assignments, things that people need to be physically there? Rest of the classes and everything would be online. Is this the future method of learning? Will schools be this big and handling a lot of students, or all those education factors will move to online studying? How will this affect the discipline of the student? will more people thrive in a relaxed sort of education method where you can stay at home and study whenever you want? Will that help the student to go on their own individual speed, or will it backfire? Will students become more lazy? And what about the integrity of assignments? Do we need to create new software or new platforms just to host these assignments without copying, or any how we can authenticate those assignments, examinations? Well, it is with complications, of course, but this pandemic era was a good test, and a big acceleration was given uh, to the online learning methods and online learning platforms. Well, it's the future to find out whether we will take lessons out of this and use it for our advantage, or things will go back to when, like, before the pandemic era, and classes would resume. Education would be a more physical aspect rather than going into the online realm. So we that was something that came into my mind, and I was thinking, will the generations growing up go totally online, and this concept of a school, a college, or a university will be something that comes online as most of the other things have been throughout the years? Well, coming from that to another crazy thing that I was thinking, well, it is about smoking and drinking. Well, I was thinking about this, and now, the, well, we as a society make things illegal when it is a burden to the society. That is the main thing we have law for. We have a law to bring peace and consistency to a society. Otherwise, if the if we can just make drugs legal, we can make murdering legal, but it would be the destruction of the society because of that. But then there comes the problem of alcohol and smoking. This was illegal for a long time, though it is illegal in some countries. It is actually a norm for a lot of cultures, and it has been a part of uh, rooted into societies, this drinking and everything. But I was thinking about the outcomes of drinking. And yes, there are a lot of people who drink responsibly, and just to, let go a little bit and to relax from hard days of work. I'm not talking about that part of drinking, the other part of drinking, where we hear from day after day if the amount of destruction that is happening to the society because of this. People getting into fights, people getting ill, uh, people, families breaking down. There are many things that we can, if you go one by one. Well, there are people who drink, when they drink way above their limits, they become aggressive, angry, and starts fight. And anybody who's drunk, who is not in their right mind, would aggregate these things, and they will continue on to brawls and destruction of property and destruction of human life. And this is apparently a common thing in the society. And no, when it is reported in news, or when somebody is talking about this, it is always the problem is with the people, but not with selling of alcohol. If you take getting sick, people who drink often, who are addicted to drinking, will get diseases such as cirrhosis, so something like that. And people who are smoking, it is well known smoking is bad and will kill people, will get cancer, and that is a burden for the person who has done that, the family that particular person, then the whole society itself. But still, the society does not consider smoking to be that much of a danger for the society. Then from that place onwards, people who drink a lot, poor families, they people who are addicted to drinking, they spend too much money on it, and poor families suffer because of that. There are sexual abuses when in drunkenness involved. There are abusing of children. There are uh, temper issues going to abusing of wives and children, and in a way that the society falls. But end of the day, when talking about these things, even if you go to news and those things, that people blame that particular person who is drinking. Let's say a drunken person comes home and abuses their loved ones, their children, and the society will directly point the finger at that drunken person, not the bottle that made him drunk. It is quite amazing. Like, if there's a heroin addict, we blame the heroin and the destructive nature of it. But it is that is not the way that we treat alcohol or smoking. This is something interesting that came into my mind. I don't know whether it is interesting to you, the listener, but something that just came into my mind, because though yes, lot of people, this is there to let yourself go, but it would, alcohol would be a cultural aspect to it. But are we treating alcoholism, smoking, the way that we need to really treat it? A person who gets into a crash while drinking and driving, and the society expects a person to be responsible when they are drunk. Is that the way our mind has now is working when these things are happening? Or is it the financial beneficiaries or the financial benefits to the society are much more greater, or even like by letting themselves go, the stress is relieved from the society, and this is much more beneficial than the damage it does? I don't know what is the sociological or how the society justify this situation, because was every day there is a news that something went wrong, and there's a point that people have become like a abuse because of drunkenness, even sexual abuse, even other kinds of abuse, fighting. The, people will let it go because it's drunk, and that is a normal thing in society. How can that even be? Like, I have seen people who are letting go of bad things, destructive things, because of a person was drunk. We have all heard that, that person, that guy was drunk, or that girl was drunk. What can we do, right? And is that approach is totally different than the approach if the same thing is done under the influence of some other drug. It is it was for me that the approach, how the society approach a drunk person, and how the a society approach a person who is under the influence that we say illegal drugs is different. And we never blame alcohol or smoking for burdens in our health system, or families getting destroyed, or physical abuse or sexual abuse. Nobody says these things happen because of drinking in, and we need to take action for it. Nobody says that. We just say, oh, there is a person who's aggressive, he drinks and abuses the family, we have to take action against him, rather than, oh, if it is another separate kind of a drug which is deemed to be legal in the society, then they will blame the drug. Ah, this drug have made this person into an addict, now he's abusing the family. Well, it's a kind of interesting thought process how we look at things. This just, maybe it's a mad ramble, maybe most of the people out there will not agree with me, but uh, this is something just came into me. And from the things I have seen in, the thought process is that, so it's a pretty strange thing to think about. Out We are treating the same scenario with different drugs in different ways. Well, moving on from that subject, I was looking into an article where it says about modern warfare. Well, not the game, of course. It discuss about where would the battle line, the front line, would be if there is a war in modern era. Well, it is quite known that in the future war will be a thing that will not occur, because mainly the main powers, the powers of economy and weaponry and technology, superpowers, these countries will not go against each other because of the mutual destruction that is guaranteed through nuclear weapons. Additionally to that very dangerous and scary factor, the other would be the economic implications. Countries that are today developed well beyond than before with wealth and technology and the the lifestyles, so they will not risk to change or harm that. Going into a large scale war would increasingly harm the economy that is fragile, it is in itself. So maybe that could be also a reason, a driving factor. But many scholars would argue that war is an unavoidable factor. Maybe when changing the pattern from one superpower to another in a new era, or any other random thing, would put us in a situation where there would be a war. History has supported these theories, and we don't know the future would be different. But this article is arguing about modern warfare, and it was concentrated on the topic of hacking, digitally, attacks that are carried out digitally. This is one of the most interesting things. Well, because that hacks can be carried out from anywhere around the world, and it is very hard to trace them and prove that actually a hack has been done. The element of blaming a person or blaming a party or a country with proper evidence is not there. This actually makes some rather unusual situation where a hacker can gather information, steal digital money, take down infrastructure such as electricity and water, and get away with it. And this can be a method of warfare. In this article, it was talking about the blitzkrieg, not the blitzkrieg actually. When World War II was there, Germany was constantly trying to bomb United Kingdom, not to destroy the country fully, just to put the morale down of the people and try to create a internal panic or a internal conflict from the constant bombing. The society will crumble under the pressure and the fall of the kingdom, but that didn't happen. But that was the general idea of randomly going in and bombing. So everyday bombing raids were there. People were everyday hiding inside tunnels and shelters. If when this continues on and on and on, people will get frustrated and the society will collapse. People will turn against the country. So this was the general idea. But today, such a thing can be carried out using digital warfare. Think about it. A person comes in and hacks the electricity grid again and again and again, thus creeping in frustration the water supply lines, the electricity, as well as uh, digital currency, banks, stock market. These all can go under attacks, where the end result would be frustration for the people who are in the society who are using these functions. But these frustrations will be put out in their own society, inside their own country. So any person who wants to declare war can hide in the darkness of the web and carry out such warfare, which will casualties will not be seen to the naked eye, plus the warfare will be long and tedious. But whoever can stay the longest will win. And even today we hear that, oh, these informations have been hacked, or these our information of a particular product has been taken, espionage and everything. We hear this, but the common factor is there's no proof. And any country can be, be, the proof is not there because of the complicatedness of the digital footprint and how easy it is to erase or manipulate it. And the and we at this particular moment don't know which country or which person. It could be a person. That is how the digital world makes life complicated. So in this given particular moment, a country would be at war with another country, or an organization would be war with a country, or even a single person would be at war with a country. We literally don't know. Cyber warfare can be dangerous, though we haven't seen a big attack or something devastating that is done through cyber warfare. We can actually think of scenarios that will actually happen, that will turn societies around, collapse them by a single move. Think of stock markets. Every superpower has a stock market which is world renowned, and a lot of wealth is being traded inside. And if these numbers are manipulated or simply everything is erased, that means the whole society, the whole economy, the superpowers main the main reason that a superpower is generated is the power of the economy, and that that power is wiped out through attack to a stock market. And the implications can be so much. The power grids can be attacked, the water grid can be attacked, and even sophisticated attacks can be carried out. Information can be taken illegally, and that information can be used to manipulate the market to make things unfair, or that information can be used in a long term scheme. Literally, we don't know. But the methods of a cyber attack are endless. And in the world that we are moving into 5G, and we are starting a new revolution, that is internet of things, and everything is going digitally. Even digital currency is being introduced, which the marketplace is going into a digital realm. We haven't have do we really have a defense against this? And is it have we ever seen an attack that will impact everybody? I think to understand seriousness of a nuclear weapon, whatever said and done, humans have to see it through their eyes, and they have seen it through their eyes. And even today, they are scared of the outcome. And we haven't seen a digital attack, a digital strike in that scale, and maybe it is hard to comprehend what would be the outcome. But the threat is there. We don't know what will be the new age. Superpowers, of course, are still investing more and more in conventional arms, but they have to think of the digital uh, war space as well, the defense of the realm in the digital world, because and I think in the future, with everything become digitalized and automated, and IoT, information of things, will start creating mass amount of data that is vital. Protection of data will come into the front lines, and most probably a war for which is fought digitally might be a reality. We never know. Maybe some might say it would be a cold war, because the actual element of human life is not at risk in indirectly, but indirectly it could be a problem. So, but we don't know. But there would be a day in the future that this issue might be there. There will be a headline or a newspaper that would, if there is, at that time, let's say a post on a website that would have the topic saying that this organization goes against that organization in a digital war. It would be strange times to live, but it will be the new norm. It is quite amazing to see how far we have progressed as a society, from spears, swords to archers, from guns, rocket launchers to missiles, jets. Now it is the digital age where coders and brain is the weapon of choice, it seems. The day might be not far away where there will be a ad in saying in your country saying, are you doing your part to protect the country's digital infrastructure, and telling us instructions how to protect our accounts, protect our passwords, and protect our hardware and software. This can come true. Well, this is my random ramble. This is what I was thinking to myself when I'm talking to myself. Well, it comes with the occupation. If you are a madman, you have to talk to yourself. So, something to think about. I hope I have told something thought provoking. Till the next episode, be safe, be healthy. Ayubowan.